All right. We wanted to do Deuteronomy 32. Sort of a dramatic reading along with commentary on it because it's such an important chapter. And we just want to share it with everyone we can. Deuteronomy 32. Hear, O heavens, as I speak. Listen, earth, to the words from my mouth. May my teaching fall like rain. May my speech condense like dew, like light rain on blades of grass, or showers on growing plants. For I will proclaim the name of Adonai. Come, declare the greatness of our God, the rock. His work is perfect, for all his ways are just. A trustworthy God who does no wrong. He is righteous and straight. He is not corrupt. And that puts us in the middle of verse 5, and it just reminds us of the God we're dealing with. He's perfect. His ways are just. So when we're reading the rest of the chapter, to keep that in mind, to have that as our foundation. Deuteronomy 5 in the middle, the defect is in his children, a crooked and perverted generation. You foolish people, so lacking in wisdom. Is this how you repay Adonai? He is your Father, who made you his. It was he who formed you and prepared you. Remember how the old days were. Think of the years through all the ages. Ask your father, he will tell you. Your leaders too, they will inform you. When Elyon gave each nation its heritage, he divided the human race. He assigned the boundaries of people according to the number of the sons of Israel, some translations will say, and according to the sons of God, others will say. And both are good because the Israel as a nation is called to minister to the nations. That's their call. And when he divided the peoples at the Tower of Babel into nations, there are many verses, and some we'll be reading here, that will tell us the sons of God were given nations to rule over and to show how they would treat their nation. So these other these gods who aren't anywhere near like our God, they're created beings. They were given opportunity to take a nation and show what they would do with it. In verse 10, he found his people in desert country, in a howling, wasted wilderness. He protected them and cared for them. He guarded them like the pupil of his eye, like an eagle that stirs up her nest, hovers over her young, spreads out her wings, takes them and carries them as she flies. Adonai alone led his people. No alien god was with them, so there's the contrast. He made them ride on the heights of the earth. They ate the produce of the fields. He had them suck honey from rocks and olive oil from the crags, curds from the cows and milk from the sheep, with lamb fat, rams from Bashan, and goats with the finest wheat flour. And you drank sparkling wine from the blood of grapes. But Yeshurun, another name for Israel, grew fat and kicked. You grew fat, thick, and gross. He abandoned God his master. He scorned the rock of his salvation. They roused him to jealousy with alien gods, provoked him with abominations. They sacrificed to demons, non-gods, gods they had never known, new gods that had come up lately, which your ancestors had not feared. You ignored the rock who fathered you. You forgot God who gave you birth. We're up to verse 19. Adonai saw and was filled with scorn at his sons' and daughters' provocation. He said, I will hide my face from them and see what will become of them, for they are a perverse generation, untrustworthy children. They aroused my jealousy with a non-God and provoked me with their vanities. I will arouse their jealousy with a non-people and provoke them with a vile nation. For my anger has been fired up. It burns to the depths of Sheol, devouring the earth and its crops, kindling the very roots of the hills. I will heap disasters on them and use up my arrows against them. Fatigued by hunger, they will be consumed by fever and bitter defeat. I will send them the fangs of wild beasts and the poison of reptiles crawling in the dust. Outside, the sword makes parents childless. Inside, there is panic as young men and girls alike are slain, sucklings and graybeards together. I considered putting an end to them, erasing their memory from the human race. But I feared the insolence of their enemy, feared that their foes would mistakenly think and proclaim, "We ourselves accomplished this. Adonai had nothing to do with it." So, whatever the cost to bring us back to him, he's saying it'll be worth it. I need to bring you back to me. I need to get you back focused on me. They are a nation without common sense, utterly lacking in discernment. Oh, that they were wise and could figure it out and understand their destiny. And that's his cry for us as his people. Oh, that they were wise and they could see God's purposes, God's ways. Verse 30, after all, how can one chase 1,000 and two people put 10,000 to rout unless their rock sells them to their enemies, unless Adonai hands them over? For our enemies have no rock like our rock. Even they can see that. Rather, their vine is from the vine of Sodom, from the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are poisonous, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is snake poison, the cruel venom of vipers. Isn't this hidden with me, sealed in my storehouses? Vengeance and payback are mine, for the time when their foot slips, for the day of their calamity is coming soon. Their doom is rushing upon them. Verse 36, yes, Adonai will judge his people, taking pity on his servants when he sees that their strength is gone. No one is left slave or free. This is the point his love brings us to. This is the point justice and pure righteousness and perfection knows we need to come to, where our strength is gone, where we're not relying on our own selves, where we're calling out to him and putting all of our hope in him. Verse 37, then he will ask, where are their gods, the rock in whom they trusted, who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let him get up and help you. Let him protect you. See now that I, yes, I am he, and there is no God beside me. I put to death, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. No one saves anyone from my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and swear, as surely as I live forever. And this happens again in Daniel, and it happens again in Revelation. It's a declaration that this is going to take place. It's going to be done. If I sharpen my flashing sword and set my hand to judgment, I will render vengeance to my foes, repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood. My sword will devour flesh, the blood of the slain and the captives, flesh from the wild-haired heads of the enemy. And all that is God's justice. All that is God needing to cleanse and purify and bring about the new heaven, the new kingdom, his kingdom on earth, the God of Israel, setting it all up. And he calls for the nations to sing. Verse 43, sing out, you nations, about his people. For he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will render vengeance to his adversaries and make atonement for the land of his people. So we see the deep care in the heart of God. We see his determination to bring it to pass. And we see that he will bring his kingdom, and all the kingdoms of the earth will be destroyed before that time. It has to happen. So look at Deuteronomy 32. Ask God for more wisdom. Thank you for listening.